RPS crew and members had another big week.
Big T kicked things off in the MLB streets with an 80K night and was joined by RPS member Punisher, who also shipped for 50K. Hoop added a 75K MLB hit of his own a couple days later, and Steve Boynton hit for 36K in NBA Showdown. Rumpier Sports member Simo shipped for 100K, and yet another RPS member had a monster hit when TYA558 became the latest to win a PGA Millie Maker. If you haven't signed up for Rumpier Sports Premium membership yet, now is the time to get in using the promo code RPSHeater25 for 25% off of your first payment on a monthly or weekly plan, not including Saberson.
Last week was another huge week for the Kegcast, making it 7 of the last 8 weeks that the live show ended in profit.
Rocking up over 30 units between UFC and NASCAR this weekend, Keg and his crew proved there isn't a more profitable in-game betting show on the internet.
Make sure to join Keg and get 20 hours of live betting winners each week for only $10 a week.
Finally, NFL Best Ball is in full swing over on Underdog, and you can get a deposit match up to $100 by using the promo code RUNPURE.
We'll be creating Best Ball contests all summer long, so make sure you subscribe to our Run Pure Sports YouTube channel to catch all of our free videos and keep running pure.
What is going on? Welcome to the Swing for the Fences show. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are all and girls are all having a great day. Do us a favor, hit that like button, hit that big red subscribe button for us. I'm joined by my two boys, Hoop, JT. I'm back in the seat where I belong after yesterday's performance. Man, I did not know that we still were at a Cy Chris Archer and Cy Johnny Cueto season. And Yankees, very hurtful. The Dodgers, if you had the right Dodgers, they performed. Trey Turner, Will Smith, Bellinger. If you had Freddie Freeman, Gavin Lux, and those guys, yeah, they didn't do too well for you. The Braves absolutely kept smashing too. JT, what is going on with Cy Chris Archer and Cy Johnny Cueto in 2022? They definitely hurt my feelings yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, who could have seen that coming with Archer? Cueto, I wrote up an article yesterday. I called him the magician. I don't know how he does it. I mean, the guy just throws meatballs, but he does this little dance there, and but the Braves absolutely smashed, and so it was mostly a good night, and we've got a nice tidy little 5-game slate here. I like these slates to be a little bit bigger than this, but at least we're not dealing with a 2 or 3 gamer where you're looking at basically a series of 1v1s, 2v2. So interesting little slate enough. I think there's a couple of ways to get different, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so 5 games on DraftKings, 6 on FanDuel. We were talking a little premium show a couple of days ago. The 640s start times on smaller slates. FanDuel usually does add it. So the Nationals and the Marlins, FanDuel locks at 640. That is on the slate. We'll talk about that when we go game by game. But yeah, I mean, today's slate, only 5 games on DraftKings. But man, you've got some stud pitchers up top. You couldn't ask for some better arms, some bats. There's good bats across the slate. You got the Braves on the slate again. You got the Yankees on the slate. You got Baltimore, the Royals. There's some pretty high implied totals out there. So I think it's a pretty good small slate, I would say. Hoop, I'll throw it over to you. You're sweating a little early baseball right now. I know a lot of members have been in the MLB early slate. I personally did not. How's golf going? What's going on this Thursday?
Yeah, some decent teams there for the early slate. Prize pools weren't that big. I mean, it was only a 4-game slate, but just need the Dodgers to keep going, and it looks like they're heading in that direction. Someone just hit a homer. Hopefully it's someone that I have. Max Muncy, I believe I do have him. We'll have to verify that, though. Golf, decent start. We're on quite a few of the guys up at the top. Wyndham Clark up there, definitely on him. We're on Matthew Fitzpatrick, who had a good opening round, so good start. Obviously got a lot more work to do on that. And then in terms of this slate, for a 5-game slate, I'd say it's probably one of the better 5-game slates you're going to see. I mean, we have, I don't know, probably like 4 pitchers in play. I think maybe 5. We'll talk about it. And then offenses, I don't know, there's like probably 4 or 5 offenses that you can play as well. So it makes it interesting. I mean, it's not, a slate where it's like, all right, you have to play this offense or you're going to be missing. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can go. So I think it is actually pretty interesting and should be good for DFS tonight.
Absolutely. What's going on, Bill? I see you in chat. We got Sean in chat, Steve Anthony, GQ, Ron Rice, Rock Allen, Derek, Sean B, Rabosha. We appreciate it. Richie Smalls. We appreciate all of you hanging out with us. Small slate, but there's always money to be made. And yeah, like you Hoop said, and we talked about, one of the best 5-game slates I think we'll see, pitching and hitting. There's some good options for sure. So we'll dive into it. But as always, hit that like button, hit that big red subscribe button for us. We always do appreciate it. And if you do want to be a member, RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first payment. Big weekend over here. We got Golf Showdown as always. Showdown shows for all the rounds. Then we got pay-per-view for MMA this week. So that should be a lot of fun. DC, Keg, and myself will be going live on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have NASCAR as always. They have a live show on Sunday. Always big prize pools there. MLB, of course. NBA tomorrow, NBA Showdown, always big prize pools. JSU, BigT, talk about their showdown strategy on the premium side. So no better time to be a member. There's a lot of prize pool, a lot of big prize pools, a lot of sports. RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off. But I say we dive right. Garrett Cole all the way down to Shohei Ohtani. We get a pretty big price difference from Garrett Cole at 10.4. Ohtani only 8.1K. I think that price difference from Max Fried and Garrett Cole is going to have him be maybe the most popular pitcher. I think all three of them are definitely going to be bunched up there. What are you liking from 10.4 Cole to 8.1 Ohtani?
Yeah, I think because of Cole's name recognition and with the Yankees being, I think now they're up to a 220 favorite. My sense here is that Cole probably ultimately becomes the highest owned guy here, even with that price difference. But the price difference puts me on Ohtani as my number one guy here. Coming off a bad start in Yankee Stadium where he hasn't pitched well in his young career, but now he gets a Red Sox team that's not really doing much on the road. Xander Bogaerts has an injury of some sort. They've scored a total of, I think, 1 run in the last 2 games out there in Los Angeles. It's cool out there. It's the lowest total on the slate. So I like Ohtani. I'm going to be coming real close to locking him in and going way, way overboard. So even if he's 50%, I'm going to have somewhere in the neighborhood of 90. Cole at 10.4 has been just outstanding. His last 9 games, over 20 DraftKings points. Those early season struggles well behind him. A little concerned because the Twins have been making pitchers' lives miserable, particularly high-owned pitchers, over the course of the last week. So it's something that I don't know if this is a spot where I think one of 2 things happens. You get that spot where Cole is locked in and he goes for 40, or is this one where the Twins are going to hit 2 or 3 home runs and at 23 points, you're better off going down to Ohtani, maybe Nick Pivetta, who's a little bit above him in that same game. Fried is the guy here that I just don't know what to do with. Interested to hear what you guys think about this. The Braves a massive favorite. Pittsburgh striking out 31% of the time against left-handed pitching recently, but they also have a 200 ISO. They also have a 341 weighted on base average. So Fried with the 22% strikeout rate, 9.5 is a little bit above where he should be. But we've seen with Max Fried, if he's on, he can go 8 innings and he has that innings upside. And then Pivetta is the guy that I'll mention last. If this Angels team were healthy, I wouldn't be on him because I keep waiting for the wheels to fall off of Nick Pivetta. They just haven't. He's pitched really well, including a complete game, 8 strikeout performance in Houston. So the way I rank these guys is I'm going to go Ohtani 1 and then Cole 2, and then I'll have some interest in Pivetta and Fried. Just not exactly sure what I'm going to do with Fried. That 9.5 stands out to me as just above where he should be.
Yeah, I mean, if you're questioning Fried and you're not very sold on him, I think he's like Cole, Ohtani, Fried. I think all of them are definitely going to be way higher owned than the rest of them, probably approaching 40% maybe for Fried or something like that. How I look at it is you can pretty much pencil in the win, what you think. And obviously we know the win is very important. This bottom of the lineup for Pittsburgh just looks so bad. You got Yu Chang, Tyler Heineman, Travis Swaggerty. I mean, there's definitely strikeouts to be had. So I definitely like Fried. I'm already penciling in the win, like I said. But, man, I'd rather pay or get the extra $900 for Garrett Cole. You look at Cole, his last 8 starts, 22 was his lowest, and then 25. I mean, it's just absolutely insane what Garrett Cole is doing. You can pretty much pencil him in for 25 at this point with upside of 40, pretty much like you said. And yeah, I agree with Ohtani as well. 8.1K, that price difference from Cole, from Fried, definitely makes a lot work when there is bats you do want to pay for on this slate. Hoop, I'll go to you. And if anyone in chat has any questions, I see Thomas, you brought up a name. We'll touch on him. Any of you guys, if you guys have a pitcher you want us to talk about, drop it in chat and we can discuss it. It's a 5-game slate. We have plenty of time. So we'll get to your question, Thomas, when we get in the lower range. But Hoop, going to you, Garrett Cole all the way down to Ohtani. What you like?
Yeah, I mean, Ohtani, I think it's a really tough price tag to pass up on. 8.1K, the upside's there. We've seen him have some of these down starts and he just like bounces right back and has a phenomenal like 10 strikeout game. So at 8-1, I mean, it's just, you can fit anything with him in your pitcher spot. So certainly interested in him. And then Max Fried, I like a ton. I mean, I think the matchup is phenomenal. Just seems like a very safe option today. And it's enough of a discount from Garrett Cole. I mean, you're looking at a $900 discount. You can definitely upgrade a bat. And then Garrett Cole at 10-4 is just way too cheap as well. I mean, he's been very, very steady. I mean, you like you said, you look at the game log in the last like 8 starts, he hasn't been under like 22 fantasy points. That's an incredible, incredible floor. So the way I'm kind of approaching pitcher is kind of building out these offenses and coming here and seeing which, 2 out of 3 of those guys I can play. And it's easy, I think, today because we have some cheap bats and these guys aren't all that expensive. I mean, Garrett Cole at 10-4, he should be like 12K. So it's just way too cheap for Garrett Cole. And then I'll throw in like the last guy that I'm interested in. It would be the Cleveland guy, Pilkington, 7.1K, coming off, was it the last start where he went? Yeah, the last start against KC, 27 fantasy points, went 5 innings, struck out 8 bats. I think he can do that again here against Oakland, who is a really bad offense. So those are kind of the 4 guys that I'm going to be focused on tonight. I feel good with any 4. Obviously, in order for me to play Pilkington over any of those other guys, it's got to be like the perfect fit on offense. It has to be able to get me everything I want and not making many sacrifices before I'd be willing to go down to Pilkington. Ohtani, Fried, Cole is going to be the goal, 2 out of 3 of those. But if not, if I have everything I want on offense and then I got to play a guy like Pilkington in some teams, I'd be willing to do that.
Yeah, that's who Thomas did mention in chat. So I'll get to JT on his thoughts about that. But also, I mean, I was looking a little more about Nick Pivetta because he's 8.4K, Ohtani's 300 less. People are either going to go to Ohtani or they're going to go up to the Fried Cole. I think Pivetta's kind of going to be forgotten. I think Mike Trout's going to be out again. Do you guys have any lean on that, JT or Hoop? Because that's a big thing for me. This game is the last game on the slate. We might not get that lineup until after lock, which also would keep his ownership down. But if Mike Trout's out of that lineup, Taylor Ward's also already out. Man, that lineup just isn't very good. Runs have not been scored in this series. Look at Pivetta. Look at his game log. He has been good. So on a 5-game slate, when I think he'll probably come in under-owned for his chance to actually hit the optimal, I do have some interest in Pivetta. I know you did mention him a little, JT, but going to you, talk about Pilkington a little bit. Anybody else in this cheaper range that you have interest in?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hate to go against Hoop, but I'm completely off Pilkington here. He's coming off, first of all, he's a rookie, 5 starts in his major league career, coming off the game of his life, 5 innings, 8 strikeouts. He'd been wild before that, expected ERA higher than what it is right now. The Royals have just been terrible. The A's, at least they hit left-handed pitching a little bit. I have some interest in some of the cheaper A's here as fill-ins. With you mentioning Pivetta, we know that Ohtani and Cole and Fried are going to all be north of 40%. At least that's what I expect. But if you go with a pairing, if you needed to get to say what Hoop was talking about, let's say you want to stack the Yankees and the Braves, 2 offenses I think we're all going to have some interest in, and you go Ohtani, Pivetta, I think that's a very interesting way to go here with the way that both of those teams, the Sox and the Angels, are struggling. So for me, I'm going to pass on Pilkington. If he throws that game again, so be it. That's fine. But yeah, that's kind of the way I view it.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to you for this, JT, and then we can get Hoop's thoughts as well. It's more of a game theory question. Rhyme Life Music in chat said, how many pitchers do you generally play in a slate, new to baseball DFS? And then he said 150 max. on FanDuel he's looking at. So one pitcher site on FanDuel. Obviously, it's slate dependent. 13 game slates can be different than these 6 game slates and stuff like that. But on a slate like this, JT, is there a number? Is there like a too many? I would say if you love one pitcher, you could, I guess, lock him in if you felt really confident, like a Garrett Cole. He is pretty safe. But generally, is there a certain number that you wouldn't go above? Talk about that question.
I mean, so when you look at this slate, you've got, I would say, 3 aces, right? You've got Ohtani is the ace for the Angels, Cole, Fried. I would say Fried is the ace of the Braves, at least this season. So you've got those 3 guys. So in order to spread out from there, I think you have to find a reason to want to get to another pitcher. And that is where Pivetta comes in here for me anyway, where he's cheap. The Angels have been really struggling. They're without 2 of their best hitters. And the lineup, I mean, look, you're running out, and the guy who, of all the guys that are shitty, has actually been hitting, Luis Rengifo, he's on paternity leave. So you had Juan Lagares in there last night. Matt Duffy's leading off. In answer to the question, it really depends on the slate and the quality of the pitching. Here you have such quality of pitching that, let's say Jordan Lyles, who was a guy I was looking into because I think Kansas City is going to be way too popular. They're going to be 20% on, and they've been just, I mean, it's not like they can't have a big game, but Lyles hasn't actually been that bad. But in order to get to Lyles, like, why would I be doing that? Lyles' ceiling is 23-24, right? So on a slate like this, I think I would cap it at those 4, at Cole, Fried, Ohtani, and Pivetta. And I don't think I'd see it, especially on FanDuel, I don't think I'd see a reason to go past that. On DraftKings, I've seen guys where they play 150 where they may want 2 or 3 lineups of Lyles, 2 or 3 lineups of Pilkington, just in case they have a big game. And I stopped playing that way because I think if you focus more, and a lot of these guys here, Hoop, who's much more successful than I am, Big T, much more successful than I am, they talk about having
False.
No, it's not false.
He's saying that while he's shipping the early slate as Steve.
But I know, exactly. But it's something that you guys do in every sport, which is maintaining that tight core, going overweight on that. And then, you may take a shot on different offenses, but at pitching, even if you were talking about last night's slate, even if you had Cueto or Archer, you're not winning shit with those guys.
No. Yeah. Hoop, you can touch on that as well. I agree with JT. I mean, we always say you can live to fight another day. I'd rather play 1 pitcher, 2 pitchers, 3 pitchers than I would 8 pitchers, 9 pitchers, 10 pitchers. Of course, if a pitcher's 5% owned, like a Jordan Lyles, let's just say you want to play and you got 20 lineups, you want to play him in 3, you're already overweight. But what is your approach for that, for pitching? How many you'd have in 150?
Yeah, I mean, it's just slate to slate dependent. I mean, there's been times even on FanDuel where, I typically don't do 150 for baseball, where I've done 30 teams and I just played 1 pitcher if I feel like really good about a guy. There's been other times where it makes it up a ton. And one thing to add, I think JT covered it well, but one thing to add is it kind of depends what offenses you're targeting too. Like if you are on a slate where, let's say we have Coors and, they're expensive bats, and it's hard to get those guys in without playing a cheap pitcher, then maybe you mix in, 3 of the cheap guys, hope 2 out of 3 of those hit, and then you're good. So it really, there's so many factors that go into it, slate to slate for sure. But, at the end of the day, you got to analyze which guys you feel comfortable with, which guys you feel best with, and which guys you're willing to put money behind. So it's very, slate dependent for sure in terms of how many guys that, I personally look to play.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I'm going to go to you quick, JT. FanDuel has the first game, like I said, the Nationals and the Marlins. Steven Strasburg making his first start. It's good to see him back in the majors. His rehab start, 83 pitches he threw, which is always a good sign. You want to know you're going to get the quality, that your pitcher could get the quality start on FanDuel. That's very important. Would you go to him? Is it just Ohtani, Fried, and Cole are in their tier of their own, where why even go to a Strasburg when you pretty much need a nail pitcher on FanDuel? So what are your thoughts there? And I doubt you have any interest in Trevor Rogers, but if you do, what are your thoughts on him too?
No, first of all, with Strasburg coming back, 83 pitches is nice, but unless he can throw, a complete game shutout in 83 pitches, he's not going to hurt you on this slate. The Marlins have been hitting quite a bit lately. And you don't know what he's going to look like. This is his first time facing major league competition in a long, long time. He could be just fine. He could be a little bit rusty. And I think if I had to bet right now how many innings you're going to see out of Strasburg, no matter what happens, if he goes great or if he goes not so great, I think it's 5 innings. This team isn't going anywhere. There's no reason to push this guy that they have under contract for a long, long time remaining, I think, out on those 2 pitchers. So I wouldn't even consider them. And quite honestly, the game in that stadium with some of the other games here, I mean, it'd be hard for me to see playing that game.
Cool. Give me your top 3 pitchers, JT, on DraftKings in order for how much you'll have most exposure to, you think?
Yeah, it's tough because I've got to leave out in tournaments. I think I want to leave out one of those top 3. So I guess I would go Cole, Ohtani 1, Cole, and then Pivetta.
Like it. Hoop, same to you, top 3 pitchers.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to just be the popular ones. It's going to be Ohtani, Cole, and then Fried. And then, I'll definitely be looking to mix it up a little bit at the offense, just because, I think those guys will be popular pitcher. That's fine. And that's just typically my strategy. I just don't get all that cute at pitcher.
Yeah, pitcher is the easiest to predict in MLB. Of course, anyone can get blown up on any single day, but it's easier to predict than it is hitting. That is for sure. So that is pitching for us. We got 400 watching, 125 likes. Hit that like button for us, please. Hit that subscribe. JT's shaking his head. It's hurtful. Don't make me throw it to Hoop to have to be the host on this show. And then he'll be asking 400 watching. We might have to get 450 likes at this point. So hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. It's hurtful right now, but we can do better. I know you guys will pick it up for us. And we have to get to the members never win, because it's always nice shouting out some members and coordinators that have had a lot of success, starting with Lycan 888, 25,000 in MLB. I see him all the time in chat. So congrats to you, Lycan. Steve Boynton also in chat, the big 36,000 in NBA. Congrats to you, Steve. Punisher always in here in Discord, 50,000 in MLB. Hoop, 75,000 in MLB. And then C Jacobs 986, 90,000 in PGA. Congrats to all of you guys. And if you do want to be on this segment, we have a members never win spot in Discord. You can drop them in there, and then you have a chance to be on this segment. So we're going to go game by game. And we're going to start with the first game on FanDuel. JT, I'll just go to you quick because you made it sound like you have no interest at all for bats or anything. I will say the Marlins total has crept up throughout the day. You don't know what Strasburg you're going to get. The Marlins a couple of days ago just absolutely went nuclear, and they weren't even on the main slate. I remember because we were chirping them on the premium slate. Like, when has the Marlins won a slate? Well, they put up like 14 runs that day. So can you go to a Jazz Chisholm or something like that against Strasburg, or any interest in bats for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think you certainly can here. Trevor Rogers hasn't been great. I like Lane Thomas leading off now that I pulled up the game. I mean, I think that lineup is pretty interesting there. It's 474. It's not bad actually on this slate. That's towards the higher end of totals. So yeah, I'd be out on the pitching and probably a little bit more interested in some of those right-handers on the Nationals.
Yeah, I like it. And a lot of people that do play FanDuel and DraftKings, they're just going to not forget, but they're just going to be like, oh, let's just have this 5-game slate. Nothing stands out too much with the totals or anything. They're just going to play their similar stacks on DraftKings. So I think you get this game very low owned wherever you go. Hoop, I know you're on FanDuel a lot. Do you have any interest in this first game for bets?
Going to be low owned. I mean, I guess that's the argument that you can make. No one's really going to go here. And I mean, the Marlins do have a pretty decent team total here, over 4.5 against Strasburg. And when things aren't going right, the ball's leaving the yard, and then you get this Nationals bullpen. So I think, if you're making a ton of teams, if you're doing 150, I'd include probably the Marlins and maybe even the Nationals a little bit. But, anything like even like 20 teams, I don't think I would get to this game at all, to be honest with you.
Yep, makes some sense for sure. Let's get to the next game on the slate. This slate is on DraftKings and FanDuel. 7:10 Eastern, the Oakland Athletics, the Cleveland Guardians. We got Caprillion against Pickington. I'll go to you, Hoop. Any interest in Cleveland or the A's bats?
I'm not going to be on the A's. I mean, I think JT mentioned he might be on them, so you can talk about some of these guys. But for me, it's not going to be a play. The Guardians, though, or the Cleveland baseball team, I said I'm refusing to call them the Guardians. The Cleveland baseball team, I do have a lot of interest in, actually. I like this team for a multitude of reasons. Number one, you get like one of the best hitters in baseball in Jose Ramirez. The guy is absolutely phenomenal. And then there's a lot of different ways to get access to this team for pretty damn cheap. I mean, you got, Stephen Kwan, 3.1K, this Oscar Gonzalez at 2.2K. So this is like a perfect team to stack all the way up, or even like a 3-man stack, and then still be able to pay up at pitcher. You're going to get a big bat in Jose Ramirez, then you can play, 2 of these cheaper guys, still stack another expensive team, and have the ability to pay up at pitcher. So really like Cleveland, probably one of my favorite squads here on this slate. And like I said, nothing on the Oakland side for me.
Yeah, I definitely like Cleveland as well. Like you said, they're a very easy team to stack with some cheap bats in the middle of the order. JT, I'll go to you. Any interest in Cleveland? Then, yeah, you mentioned definitely no Pickington for you. So are you going to go to a very low-owned A's on this slate?
Yeah, there's a couple of A's I like. Sean Murphy, Ramon Laureano, and then one guy I'll mention, Matt Davidson. He just got called up. Davidson, we've always only played against left-handed pitching, and he was absolutely going nuts in the Pacific Coast League in AAA the last 2 weeks. He had like 6-7 home runs, something like that in the PCL. Again, it's a guy that we talk about, lefty mashers here on this site. Matt Davidson is a lefty masher, and you get some runners on before him, with Pilkington being a little bit wild coming off of that start where he was pristine. And I think you got a shot there with Davidson at 2.9. There's so much to love about the Indians. Hoop talked about Jose Ramirez. He talked about the cheap prices there. Other thing to love is James Kaprielian. And he's just, this guy was a top prospect, but now we're seeing maybe why the Yankees traded him. It just hasn't worked out here this season. And I can't see this going well for him with all these lefties in this Cleveland lineup. They just don't strike out. Over the last 2 weeks, I've never seen a statistic like this, a 10% strikeout rate for the Indians over the last 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's just they put the ball in play. And when you put the ball in play with this A's defense as it is, you saw what the Braves did to them over the course of the last 2 games, right? So I like some Indians here, and I do like that mini stack. It is a decently, second highest total on the slate. So I think you could see some runs in Cleveland tonight.
I like that. Yeah, maybe a little game stack or something. It should be pretty low on, especially the A side. But yeah, like you said, when you put the ball in play, good things happen. 10% straight. Wow, that makes me like him even more for sure. And like I always say, Jose Ramirez is my favorite MLB DFS player to roster. So they got pieces around. You can stack it up. I definitely like that game. Let's get to the next game of the slate. The Pittsburgh Pirates and the Atlanta Braves. JT Brubaker and Max Fried on the mound. It's pretty warm in Atlanta, about 80 degrees, winds blowing out today too. The Braves just absolutely keep crushing. JT, I'll go to you, big Braves fan there. I know you're going to have interest, so how would you stack this lineup? How would you navigate it? And then I assume no Pittsburgh for you, but you did say Fried is the only one you're not going to – you want to fade one of the top 3 guys. I assume you have no Pittsburgh, even though you won't play too much Fried, but talk about it.
It's really tough to play Pittsburgh, although they do get up for these games. Let's not forget they just swept the Dodgers in Los Angeles. But I don't know if I'm going to fully fade Fried yet. I just don't like the price point for what he offers. Have to love the Braves. I had one of my own adult baseball games last night, and it's hot here. It's sticky here, and the ball was flying even for us old bastards. And I don't want to make anyone who's watching this jealous, but last night they gave out a little souvenir at the game. My wife went to the game for a corporate event.
Oh, look at that bad boy.
Nice.
Wow. How'd you manage to get one of them?
Well, she brought it home and she's not going to wear it. And neither am I, but she gave it to me. So it's a replica of the championship ring.
That's awesome.
Robert in Discord with a new name mentioned that Albies started to get hot. We usually like to target him, though, against right-handed pitching, but I think that last night he might have hit it off a righty from the left side. So, yeah, I think in this lineup, it's pretty deep, especially with Harris hitting in the 9-hole, 2.6K in the 9-hole. JT Brubaker, he's okay, but they've been smashing pitchers, good pitchers, bad pitchers, doesn't matter. Highest, I think, implied total on the slate. I will be going right back to the Braves here in a bunch of my lineups.
I like it. You got Gary very jealous in chat, that's for sure. And I got to ask JT, were you one of the guys to hit one out yesterday? The balls were traveling a little bit, the wind blowing. Were you able to get under one and knock one out?
No, nobody hit one out, but let's just say there was a lot of offense in the game. I was 2 for 4, so I feel pretty good about it.
You'll take that for sure.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame.
Those are Hall of Fame type numbers, you know.
And I hope you didn't pitch yesterday, JT. If you're saying balls were flying, a lot of offense.
No, I was behind the plate trying to stay alive, as humid as it was.
There you go. Hoop, I'll go to you, man. I mean, it's hard not to have interest in this Braves team. It looks like every day you just look at it. You look at who's in first, second, third. Braves are on those teams, and then I assume no Pittsburgh for you.
Yeah, no Pittsburgh for sure. I really like Fried tonight, and then the Braves. I mean, yeah, it's a 5-game slate. They're in a phenomenal spot. I mean, the good thing about them is you can play every single batter in their lineup. I mean, that makes it easy for DFS because you can, get unique by potentially going to the bottom. I mean, they're great fillers if you're going to stack another team. There's just so much flexibility when playing the Braves. It's just a really good spot. Highest, team total on the slate. Everything just points to the Braves tonight. And, if you fade them, that could be an early night for you. It could be a laptop closer type of night. So I'll be on the Braves heavily, and so will everyone else. But like I said, there's many, many ways you can get different tonight. And by fading the Braves, that's not something I'm willing to do. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, who is it? Robert in chat mentioned. Duvall, when he plays, he just gets it done. Yeah, I mean, Duvall's absolutely hot. Michael Harris is hot. You can play this lineup 1 through 9 for sure. So, yeah, don't be afraid to get a little different with your stack. Let's see what the likes right now. 420 watching, 170 likes. Borski in chat. Not even half the people watching have hit the like button. Very hurtful. It is hurtful. And you know what? Hoop was hosting 2 days ago. I think you guys got over 400 likes or something for him. Holden yesterday was able to get over 300 likes. It's a smaller slate, so I'm not gonna be as stingy, but 270 likes we need today for the plays of the day. We got a couple games left. I'm going to read an Underdog promo right now, but 270 for the plays of the day. You really want that Eiffel Tower and the rich parents play of the day. I can tell you that. So 270 should not be hard. And I want to read the Underdog promo because I'm in the best ball streets already. It is early for sure. $10 million they got in prize pools. $1 million for the regular season award. $2 million for first place. A lot of good best ball tournaments, whether it's the $25 million one, whether it's the $5 puppy. There's a lot of good drafts over there. And Underdog is matching up to $100 deposit bonus if you use the promo code RUNPEER. So check that out. Simon and Hoop just did a best ball show a couple days ago that is live on YouTube. I checked that out as well. Simon does a great job with that. Snyder will be on some of those shows. I'll make sure to hop on 1 or 2 of those shows as well. So at NFL, it is a little ways away, but it's never too early to start drafting. RunPeer is the promo code, matches you up to $100. And then if you want to be a member at RunPeer, again, RPS Heater 25 gets you 25% off your first payment. Before we get to the next game, I see JT over there laughing. I'm very curious on what's going on. So JT, tell me what's going on.
I just decided I was going to wear this ring for the rest of the show, and I was giggling about it. And also, I mean, 426, 200. What number did you say? We got over 300 on Sunday.
I said 270. Are you gonna raise it? And
I might not give anything out unless we get to 300. I mean, I think that's the way I'm gonna go.
Well, there you go. You heard it. 300 from JT, and Hoop might even raise it to 325 if someone makes him a little upset in chat. So get the like button.
Well,
I mean,
the other big thing is the subscription number too, because I mean, I warned on I believe it was Monday. We got to get that up to 10,000. If we don't, we're just going to end up moving this over to premium. It's insulting that we've been at this for, a couple years now, and we still don't have 10,000 subscribers on the YouTube page. So time is running out, and this will just end up being a premium show, and we'll go back to back premium and call it a day. The PGA shows will be all premium. UFC shows will be all premium. We'll switch it all over. I mean, it's insulting that we're not at 10,000. So, better get in there and hit that subscribe button.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you guys, we do this show every single day for you guys. I know, it's a bunch of you. We're not talking a lot of you do hit the like button for us, but it's not hard. Just hit that like and that big red subscribe button. Get us to over 10,000. And yeah, then maybe we will keep these free shows going. I'm not the boss, but you did hear from the boss man himself right there. Let's get to the next game on the slate. the New York Yankees, the Minnesota Twins, Garrett Cole, and Dylan Bundy on the mound. I'm not even going to talk about the Yankees at all. They absolutely hurt my feelings yesterday. Hoop, are we going back to the Yankees, or are we fading them? And I know you're not going to any Twins.
Yeah, definitely no Twins. That literally makes no sense, I don't think, on this slate. So no Twins, but I will be going back to the Yankees. They actually treated me well. Was it Monday when they scored like 10 or something? Rizzo hit that 3-run homer. What day is today? Today is Thursday. Was it Tuesday?
I think so. Yeah.
Judge hit one. Rizzo hit the 3-run. So that's the last time I played the Yankees. So I have no issue going back. No Stanton in the lineup today. It is a tough lineup because there's like a gap of guys that I really don't want to play, like Hicks, Connor Falefa, and then like Trevino, not much interest, but I'll play all these other guys for sure. Gallo batting ninth. Talked about it the other day. I mean, that's going to keep his ownership down. He still has the upside. I mean, that day, I believe, was Tuesday. I mean, he got a couple hits, couple RBIs. It's good enough for, his price tag and where he's at in the order. So I like him. Maybe a little wraparound, Gallo, down to Donaldson. So yeah, I'm going to be back on the Yankees today. And then, definitely no Twins.
Oh, makes some sense. JT, I'm going to go to you. We got Andrew in chat said no Carpenter, no Yankees. Man, 2022, I laugh at that statement, but he has been so good. What is going on in this world? But talk about the Yankees and the Twins.
I definitely am not on the no Carpenter, no Yankees train myself. He's been a nice boost for them. But yeah, I think, Hoop makes a good point in terms of this lineup. Like there's so, I think for me at the positions that, Kiner Falefa play, even Gallo to some extent, that there are just other ways to go. So this is more like a 3, maybe a 4-man stack for me here. But it is Dylan Bundy. And, you got to have some interest in stacking against Dylan Bundy. I mean, he's just been awful. Third most home runs allowed on the slate, second or third most in hard hits. So like the Yankees here quite a bit tonight.
I thought, who's worse, Chris Archer or Dylan Bundy? I wanted to say Chris Archer, but man, I don't even know anymore. He just keeps shoving it to me anytime I stack against him.
That was the thing about Archer, and I didn't see how many innings he pitched last night, but they've been limiting, like they've been pulling him at 5 innings. So it's almost like a quasi bullpen game every time he starts, because he's going to go 4 or 5 innings, and then they've kind of got the rest of the game planned out. So makes it a little tougher. Bundy, they probably want to try and get a few more innings from. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees had bases loaded against them and stuff too. They just couldn't get anything going. Hey, that's MLB DFS though for you. We always talk about it in NBA. You play Jokic, you play Giannis. You're not going to get 20 points, fantasy points for them very often. You play the best stack on the slate, you're going to get zeros and you're going to have some bad games from them. So that's just the nature of MLB DFS and what makes it very, very fun and very interesting. Next game on the slate, we got the Baltimore Orioles and the Kansas City Royals, Jordan Lyles and Chris Bubik on the mound. A good total. We got 9.5. Both teams sitting at about 4.7 implied total. Pretty warm in Kansas City too. I'll go back to you, JT. Talk about the Royals, talk about the Orioles.
It's kind of crazy that these two are at least projected right now to be two of the highest owned offenses on the slate. Like I said, the Royals I know they scored runs yesterday against Kikuchi and the Blue Jays bullpen, but outside of that, against right-handed pitching over the course of the last couple of weeks, the 087 ISO with 270 weighted on base average. I mean, I think this is the one spot where I'm like, if the Royals are going to be 20% owned, I really don't know that I want a part of them. I do have a lot of interest in the Orioles here. Chris Bubik, by the stats, by the numbers, the worst pitcher on this slate. And, even at his price point, it's tough to see him doing anything to keep these Orioles at bay. They've been very good over the last couple of weeks, particularly against left-handed pitching. 152 ISO, 339 weighted on base average. And I like them a lot here in this spot. They've done some damage against some good pitchers over the last couple of weeks. Chris Bubik is not a good pitcher.
Absolutely agree with you there. I lean the Orioles side for sure. Treated me well a couple nights ago. And this lineup, I do like more than most. Like you got Jorge Mateo down there in the 9-hole, Robinson Chirinos, in the 8-hole. This lineup can turn over a little bit and put up some runs. And I always talk about it, but on the road, they're guaranteed the 9th inning at bat, which I always like as well. Before I get to hoop, I saw Max and Jones. Why is Bundy 8,800? Yeah, who knows why Bundy's 8,800 and Garrett Cole's 10.4K or something. DK should have Garrett Cole at 12K and Bundy at 6,500 or something. So very, very funny price tag for sure. Hoop, I'll go to you. Actually, before I go to you, just want to remind people, the like button, we only have one game left after this, then we'll get in the stacks. 5-game slate. The time is running out to hit that like button. It's pretty hurtful. So Hoop, go to you. What you like for bats, Baltimore and Kansas City.
Yeah, pretty much in lockstep with you guys. Prefer the Orioles over the Royals, considering, fading the Royals and just being heavy on the Orioles. I mean, if the Royals are getting decent ownership, which it kind of looks like the Royals will get tonight, I'm fine being off of them. I don't know, like how many times does fading the Royals really hurt you? It doesn't happen all that often. So not completely ruling them out, but definitely prefer the Orioles side. And again, it's another lineup. You look at it, I think I can play, just about everyone in this lineup, which makes it good for stacking purposes. Like you guys said, like Chirino's at the bottom, Mateo, like you can play all these guys. So really like the Orioles. I think they're a very solid stack tonight. And, whenever you talk about the Orioles, you don't have to worry about like any sort of ownership. Like who's going to get excited to stack the Orioles? I think it's in check tonight. It is a 5-game slate, so it's going to be a little higher than it normally is. But yeah, I'm in on the Orioles and considering just being off the Royals.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, how you stack the Orioles. I mean, you look at it in the 6-hole, Tyler Nevin, 2.3K, first and third base eligible. Odor, under 3K, second. Chirino's catcher. Mateo, shortstop. We always talk about these good teams. The outfield position is so valuable. Ronald Acuna, Judge, all that. But yeah, of course, like a Cedric Mullins, Austin Hayes, Anthony Santander. You want to probably include maybe 1-2 of them in your stack, but you can stack this team without using too many outfield spots, which you do love to see. Last game on the slate, I have a feeling, unfortunately, the doubt from the people is creeping into me. I'm not sure we're going to get. I said 270. I'll give a play of the day away at 270. The Eiffel Tower play definitely might not be happening. He wants a little 300 action. I think JT maybe would be a little nice and give one out at 270, but I don't even know if we're getting there. I'm a little scared because this last game on the slate, I think it's going to be a pretty quick one. Nick Pivetta, Shohei Ohtani. 2 pitchers we have a little interest in. Not very many runs have been scored in this series. JT, is this just a move on?
Yeah, I mean, where I have big interest in both pitchers, it's just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to be very interested in the offense. And whenever Ohtani pitches, especially with Trout out of the lineup, it's just impossible to play them in any way because you can't get Ohtani as a hitter. So you can immediately just take them off the slate completely. And yeah, I'm just not going to be playing any Red Sox tonight with the way that I feel about Ohtani.
Oop, any bats for you in this game?
Before I get into that, I'm standing with my boy JT. I need 300 before the Rich Parents Play of the Day comes out. So 300, or we'll just plug it in there on in the Discord channel for our members only. And yeah, I mean, it's a game that we are interested in the pitchers. I just don't have much interest in either offense. The one thing I will say about Ohtani, when he's off, the ball typically is leaving the yard. So like, if you don't like Ohtani tonight, I don't necessarily hate going to some Boston bats. I'm on Ohtani. So like, I'm not going there, but like I said, when he's off, the ball leaves the yard. So if you're not playing Ohtani, maybe take a look at this Boston team. And then, with the Angels and their team's just a disaster, and Trout potentially being out too would make it even worse. And we give a bump to Pivetta, which we'll obviously cover in our content. So there's, no offensive interest here for me personally.
Yep. Yeah. If you guys aren't giving the plays of the day, how can I be the only one to give the play of the day, especially after that loser Gavin Lux yesterday? So I don't even know if y'all want my play of the day. You definitely would rather the Eiffel Tower and the Rich Parents Play of the Day. So I can't be the only one to give away the play of the day and my only graphic go up there. So we're going to get into the stacks. I'll read another promo or something to try and buy a little time. And I'll look back at YouTube and hopefully see 300. Otherwise, we will be getting out of here. So give me your top 3 stacks, Hoop. What are your top 3 stacks? One of them has to be contrarian.
Yep. So definitely I'm going to go Braves. I'm gonna go Cleveland and then Baltimore. So that's kind of stacking up for me. I do like the Yankees too, but I just like the way I can stack those other teams much more, like the Guardians or the Cleveland team, and then Baltimore.
So much for you. I'm never saying the Guardians ever. That's twice today on this show.
Yeah, I know, man. It's
two more than you've ever even said in your life.
Starting to creep in.
Going to you. I was laughing. Someone in chat was laughing too, when you said Cleveland baseball team, like the Washington football team.
Yeah.
That got me a nice laugh. And someone in chat mentioned that and was laughing. JT, your top 3 stacks, one of them has to be somewhat contrarian.
Yeah, I'll go with it's tough because I like 4 of these teams, and I have to, between 5:30 and 7 is kind of the time where I narrow down and decide who I'm going heaviest on. But I like the Braves, I like the Indians, and then I will go with the A's as my contrarian stack. Again, it's a spot I always fade, pick on, what have you, and I like it here tonight.
Yeah, last time you were on the A's, they absolutely smashed JT, and I do like the Guardians too. So that little game stack, it's a 5-game slate. Like, you can't just play the chalkiest options everywhere and expect to get to the top. So you're getting me a little interested in that game stack for sure. I'm going to read off a couple promos. Again, I have not opened YouTube. I do not know where the likes are at. It's got to be 300 though. Otherwise, yeah, you will see bad title, unfortunately, and have to pull them. I do not want to do it. But again, the Underdog promo, run Pier, gets you $100 deposit matching bonus. Also, go ahead, JT.
I just gotta say, there's 440 people watching. We only have 283 likes. Did we really piss off 160 of you? Are there 160 of you that are watching this out of sheer hatred, that have like a hammer in your fucking hand and you're beating the desk because you hate us? What's going on?
Like when you subtract the viewers from the likes, like that's how many people I think are disliking the content that we're putting out. So it's like very insulting. So
I couldn't imagine.
One click away from making us happy. That's all it is. Literally one click from making this trio a happy.
2 clicks. You need that big red subscribe button too. 2 clicks.
2 clicks. Correct. 2 clicks away.
And it takes 2 seconds. We're here every single day, multiple shows, multiple sports. JT said 283 again. I haven't looked. I wanted to read the best ball, the Underdog content, run Pier, matching deposit up to $100. And then RPS Heater 25. If you want to be a member over here at Run Pier Sports. My favorite part, I always mention it, is the Discord. People are 24 hours of the day pretty much talking golf, talking MMA, MLB, NBA, very knowledgeable members. And you listen to tidbits from them. Gary's always in chat giving good information. Steve Boynton. It's just a very, very good community, celebrating people's wins, rooting them on to the finish line. So you can get, if you do sign up with RPS Heater 25, make sure to get in the Discord. JT's still laughing. That is enough of stalling for me. I clicked YouTube, 303 likes. There we go. The stalling did work. I'll say quick. I'll answer this question from Libden Monday. It's the first thing I saw. I'll go to you, JT, but Cedric Mullins or Aaron Judge? I think I know where you're going to go with that, but I'll let you answer.
This is one of those where you could use that meme where it's why not both? ¿Por qué no los dos? Why can't you play both of them? If I had to pick one, I think I'd go Judge, just because Bundy is, Bubik is terrible too, but you've got Judge, who is the premier home run hitter in Major League Baseball right now. I don't think there's much question about that, against Dylan Bundy, who's the premier pitcher known for turning his back and putting his hands on his knees because the ball is leaving the yard. So I'd have to go Judge 1v1.
I like it. Guys got the likes. We always appreciate it. It was a little pulling teeth today, more pulling teeth than usual, but we did get the job done. So JT, I got to throw it to you first. Give me a winner with the Eiffel Tower play of the day.
First, I got to talk to my guy, Andrew Shetter, that's a great name. And it was tough for him. It was tough for him to hit the like button because he said, I like your video, but I hate your ring. So I'll just show it to you again, Andrew. There you go. There you go. Ooh, look at that. Look at all the shine, the diamonds. Even these are like cubic zirconium shit, whatever. These plays started off, they had to be low owned, right? We did this, and then you get to NBA, and NBA, it's really difficult to get the low owned plays that smash. And I'm going to go back old school to where we go with a long guy that I feel really good about in this matchup that I don't think anybody's going to play, because as a stack, it looks like they're going to come in well under 10%. Ramon Laureano. I
like it for sure. And now you're going to get me for the SO play of the day. We're going to go old school too. We're going to go under 10% here. I'm going to go on the 9-hole, little 9-hole. I always like doing the little wraparound stack. Jorge Mateo down there at the shortstop position, 2.7K. You can mini stack him with Chirinos, 4.7K for 2 positions. See Cedric Mullins right there. Orioles treated me well a couple days ago. Going to go to the 9-hole. Should be 5% own or something. Jorge Mateo, the SO play of the day. Hoop, Rich Parents play of the day. Who do you got?
I'm going to a 9-hole hitter as well. I believe he was a recent Rich Parents play of the day and got the job done when you consider the price tag. Going back to Joey Gallo, batting 9th. I love him down there. I'm going to have a lot of exposure to him in DFS. 2.3K on FanDuel, which is basically the minimum, and then 3.6K on DraftKings. So very affordable, very cheap on both sites. Joey Gallo, Rich Parents play of the day.
Joey Gallo, Laureano, and Mateo.
And I will say one more thing. He's a nice guy too. Me and my son met him down in Dallas, and he took a picture with my son, big baseball fan. So he's a nice guy too. So he holds a close spot in our heart. So
him and Brandon Marsh, the two guys that they always get the job done. There's a little narrative there. Man, Redmond had to say it in chat. Gavin Lux 3 for 3 today. Of course, it never fails. You're on him the day before, the next day absolutely goes off.
He is a part of the winning team for Hoopster. So like I appreciate the flop leg from yesterday. You contributed.
Well, there you go. Is it final? Is the early slate final? And you got
no, it's still going, but I mean it should be a winner regardless.
There you go. Congrats to you. I'm glad Gavin Lux did something good for you. Steve Anthony earlier in chat said, next time Lux homers, you can't victory lap it. And I was like, you're right. I cannot victory lap anything Lux does because, man, he just does not treat me well when I'm on him. We appreciate all of you hanging out. K Falik, yes, I'm very excited for these fights on Saturday. I see one last question from Ryan. Is it good to leave salary on the table in MLB DFS? Absolutely. You can definitely leave salary. It's all about the roster construction. It's about stacking. It's about correlation. So you see 3,000 on the table in MLB DFS, you can make a viable lineup with that. Whereas in NBA DFS, you're doing something wrong if you're leaving 3,000. JT, before I get on out of here, is there anything you want to say to the people? Do you want to show that ring off one more time? Let the people know anything, because I don't actually, you're on the show tomorrow. You get a little Thursday, Friday action, right? I don't see you too often though. So need some words of wisdom for you before we get on out of here.
Yeah, it's been a busy week. I did a video with Ali today, show tomorrow. I did the premium article yesterday. I'm going to wrap up the premium article as soon as this video ends and get it out there for everybody. I'm going to give it a cool name like I'm trying to do every day. And my boy, Andrew Shetter, is a Phillies fan. I don't know what to say to you, my man. Move, do something. No, I'm just kidding. They're playing well now that they got rid of Girardi. But here's that ring for you one more time, my guy, Andrew, and everybody out there. It's going to be a good night.
Absolutely love it. The Up to Lock show coming up. Holden, DC, JSU giving some winners. We'll be in the live show chat talking about it. Appreciate all of you. Rock Allen, Ryan, Gambit, Bill Miner, K. Falik Burner, Adam Shetter, all you guys in chat. Thanks for hanging out. Hit that like button. Hit that big red subscribe button on your way out. Hope to see the RPS logos up top today. Good luck, everybody. Have a great Thursday night. For Hoop, JT, Simon Behind the Sticks, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.
Last week, our RPS crew and members had another big week.
Big T kicked things off in the MLB streets with an 80K night and was joined by RPS member Punisher, who also shipped for 50K. Hoop added a 75K MLB hit of his own a couple days later, and Steve Boynton hit for 36K in NBA Showdown. Rumpier Sports member Simo shipped for 100K, and yet another RPS member had a monster hit when TYA558 became the latest to win a PGA Millie Maker. If you haven't signed up for Rumpier Sports Premium membership yet, now is the time to get in using the promo code RPSHeater25 for 25% off of your first payment on a monthly or weekly plan, not including Saberson.
Last week was another huge week for the K-Cast, making it 7 of the last 8 weeks that the live show ended in profit.
Rocking up over 30 units between UFC and NASCAR this weekend, Keg and his crew proved there isn't a more profitable in-game betting show on the internet.
Make sure to join Keg and get 20 hours of live betting winners each week for only $10 a week.
Finally, NFL Best Ball is in full swing over on Underdog, and you can get a deposit match up to $100 by using the promo code RUNPURE.
We'll be creating best ball contests all summer long, so make sure you subscribe to our Run Pure Sports YouTube channel to catch all of our free videos and keep running pure.